Okay, here we go again. What? It's so soundproof. I can't hear you. Welcome to the superpilotish channel. My name's Graham Wilson, and today in my basement, I will be telling you all about soundproofing and sound deadening for your YouTube studio or my workshop in my basement, as I call it. Anyways, oh, excuse me. Yeah, so like as usual, I have no idea what to talk about on my show here, but I got to knock off a show on a Wednesday. And yeah, so I was thinking about I can think of somebody I know that is kind of putting together a studio. So like for a podcasting studio. And I was also thinking about I've gotten a lot of compliments on my sound that I have here. And really, I just bought like a pretty good microphone. It's a Blue Yeti microphone set up in the little cardioid kind of setting rather than the all around setting. And oh, hey, Harold. Hello. And yeah, I was like, okay, am I an expert on like sound and lighting and all that stuff? Well, I kind of picked little bits and pieces off the internet, and hopefully this will be a helpful video for somebody out there. And yeah, so okay, so I'm going to kind of differentiate between soundproofing and sound deadening. Okay, now soundproofing is it's where you're kind of keeping all the noises from outside, we'll say, like so cars going down the street or yeah, something like that. And then Rolly Knievel's, hi. I'm glad the sound sounds good. And then so sound deadening is you're eliminating that echo that can be around. So I did notice after I got well, actually, let's start with soundproofing first. A little story. I years ago I was living somewhere in a cheap apartment, and I had some really noisy neighbors. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try moving. But at the time, there was like no apartments around, so I couldn't move. It was kind of stuck. But I mean, the rent was cheap, so that was okay. But I had some I had some neighbors that would just like maybe I'll show you a little diagram of what it looked like with the whiteboard. I'll use my backup whiteboard for this one. So it was we'll say here's my bedroom. Okay, that's a wall. Looks exactly like a wall, right? So on one side of the wall was there's my bedroom here. And of course, I'm sleeping like this. Maybe I'll draw myself sleeping. There we go. That's me sleeping in my bed with half my head on the pillow. And then on the other side here, in the other apartment, was a bunch of cupboards here. So put little doors on there. So there was cupboards, and then there was a sink there. So I'm sleeping there, and on the afternoon shift, trying to I'd work the afternoon shift and I'd come home at like, 2, 3 in the morning and try to stay out. You stay up a little bit, go to bed at around 4 or 5 in the morning. And then you try to sleep during the day. And these guys are getting up in the morning and they kind of partied all night too. So it's sometimes they'd be partying till 5. And they'd be slamming these doors here. I don't know what it is with people that love to slam cupboard doors. Wham! It's just like, oh, geez. So I could be sleeping, and all of a sudden, bang, right next to my head through this wall. It's like they're waking me up. Okay, this sucks, but rent's cheap. You get what you pay for. So what I was thinking, I got out. When was this? This was the internet was not exactly around a whole lot. Yeah, Google was around, I guess. Anyways, I did my little research. What can I possibly do so these jerks don't keep slamming doors all night and I can get some sleep? So I figured it out. It was like if I want to keep, I was reading that mass makes a difference. So let's see here. I'm going to write this down here. So we're going to do soundproofing versus sound deadening. So number one here is the mass. Okay. And by that, I mean, okay, it was a really thin wall. If it was a thick wall mass, like so if it was a really heavy wall, like cinder blocks, like in my basement here, it's the sound would hit it and then the sound would have to vibrate that big brick, but it's so heavy that it wouldn't vibrate it too much and the sound wouldn't pass it on to the other side. That's basically what it was. But I was kind of thinking like, oh, okay, I can't put a whole bunch of bricks on my wall here. So it's like, well, what can I do? So I was like, I got some like drywall and some foam and like, I don't know, I did some kind of BS setup here and basically built another wall on top of that wall. And I don't know what my landlord thought about when I moved out with the big holes in there, but oh well, they're easy. I made it so it was basically on just a few holes there that, could be easily patched. I might have even patched them before I moved out, but it really didn't do that much because it wasn't that mass. It was that massive of a mass. It was just kind of drywall and foam isn't like it's, like a styrofoam insulation. That's not a lot of mass. And I couldn't get it right to the bottom because there was like an outlet here too. So it's like I got mostly here and there, and like it did very, very little. And that was because if you're thinking about it, another thing about your soundproofing, and this I've seen this before, radio studios that I've been in. What else? Musical practice rooms in people's houses and stuff like that. There has to be a pretty good air seal. So, okay, if you're going to soundproof your room, you got to kind of seal out any of the, like ideally it would be a totally airtight room. But like, I don't know if you've ever noticed that when you got here anyways, in the wintertime, we have our windows all closed up. And if you just open that window just a crack, you can all of a sudden in the room, you can hear all this traffic noise. It just gets instantly noisier. Neighbors yelling across the street. Actually, it was funny. It was like, I could always tell it was springtime downtown in Windsor when people started yelling across the street. It was the strangest thing. And I still see, it depends on the neighborhood. It's usually if it's kind of like a poorer neighborhood, people like to yell at each other across the street and just have a conversation. You know, hey Joe, hey Bob, oh yeah, and they'll like yell across the street. I don't know. That's like, I grew up in kind of a middle class neighborhood. We never did that, but I don't know. It's certain neighborhoods I've lived in, they'll just yell across the street, and then it's springtime. So. And yes, wrench, if it was airtight, you would die. So you can't really do that. Unless you have like supplemental oxygen, I guess. But that's a whole other airplane episode. So, you can, you can seal it off a little bit. It doesn't have to be totally airtight. And another thing there too, that when I had my little BS set up between my bedroom and their kitchen, I put the drywall directly on top of the other wall. If I could figure out a way of getting like a little air gap in between, then the sound wouldn't instantly, it would have to transfer between air here to, or actually, you know what? They're slamming these doors and stuff. So it would just vibrate right into my room. But if there was like an air gap there, it would have to vibrate through the air and then back into another mass, and it would lose a little bit of oomph, as they say, physics, I guess. So there's something there. If you can have a little bit of distance. Yeah, like say if you had, so you got a little bit of distance with like an air gap and nothing touching there, then all those little vibrations of sound can't get on the other side of the wall. So those are kind of the three main things for soundproofing. Let's get a little red. Let's put some green on there. That black and white looks so bland. Let's do a little soundproof. Okay, that looks a little better. We're going green today. Look at that. Ooh, pretty nice. Okay, so that's that. And I don't know, sometimes depending on where you are, you can't necessarily get too much of that. But those are the factors. And, I found too, just a quick Google search before starting the show, was that people, they kind of treat soundproofing and sound deadening kind of the same, but I kind of broke them up like that. Okay, now this is, and with that, you're getting into some, I guess, architectural design, and that can get expensive and stuff. But I like to do stuff on the cheap because I'm cheap, and I would say the coolest, the best things that I've found for sound deadening. So now remember the deadening, that's getting rid of your echo. And okay, what else we got here? The cheapest, easiest thing that I have seen all over the place is carpet. And it doesn't have to look good, just has to be there. I remember I was taking trumpet lessons at somebody's. Some guy was teaching me trumpet lessons years ago when I was younger. And he was house sitting for a university professor that was in the music department there. And he had this cool practice room. And it was like this 1970s shag carpet, like everywhere. And it was just like, it really deadened the sound. So you could blast a trumpet in there and not go deaf. So carpet, any type. Like I have a couple of what do I have here? It came with the house, so that's cheap. I got like a little carpet remnant on the ground. I got like an old rug over here on the ground, so that now it's not bouncing off of the cement floor here. We got what do we got? All this stuff behind me. So like cardboard boxes like that. It's anything that can kind of I don't know, something that's not hard and reflective of sound. So okay, Nefarious Johnson, hey, thanks for the thumbs up, bud. Thanks for coming by. Okay, so carpet, and you can hang it on the walls. You can stick it on the ceiling. That will eliminate some echo. And the tackier 1970s shag carpet, the better. So what else we got here? Another thing that I know, my buddy was a drummer, and before you could buy all this cheap sound deadening stuff on Amazon, he would save egg cartons. And so where he had his drums was in the basement, and so like you go deaf down there with all the drums bouncing off of the it was an unfinished basement, so it was kind of like this, but no insulation on the walls. And so I mean it was it was just loud as hell when he was playing his guitar, playing his drums down there. So he managed to get like egg cartons and stuff like that. And so if you notice, let's see here, I will demonstrate what an egg carton looks like. If you don't know what an egg carton looks like, I will show you. We're that good on the superpilotish channel that we will educate the public about what an egg carton looks like. But sometimes you'll see them at the store. Okay, you got your regular Joe Blow egg carton. Okay, this is going to be probably one of the worst looking egg cartons ever. Okay, yeah, that's right. That is not a good egg carton. Oh, that is a bad looking egg carton. Okay, so you got your egg carton here with your eggs in it. Okay, that's horrible. But you got the like sometimes you'll have them where it's a great big square of egg carton. We'll assume this is all like this, and you got your eggs. All right, there's your super square egg carton. And then and my buddy just kind of he managed to get those from somewhere, I forget where, and he just kind of stuck them all up on the wall, and that helped him. I think he still had a hearing damage, but that's what drummers get. So so any type of egg carton stuff, if you can get them for free, great. It can be styrofoam, it can be paper. It's just there. So if it is gonna bounce off the wall, it's got all that, any type of weird shape will keep it so it doesn't bounce directly back. Okay, the egg cartons. Oh, another one here too that I just read about and I never thought of, but I remember I have seen it in all these different studios, is drapes. They're not just for windows anymore. You just stick them on the wall, and you can put up like a curtain rod. And if you get the right design, instead of just having one curtain there, you can put like 5 on there. Make sure you put it on strong enough, but you got lots of stuff absorbing all that sound, and then it won't make it to the wall. If it does make it, the sound does make it to the wall, it has to bounce back, and it has to go through that. It has to go through the drapes again, and it'll be kind of deflected around and diffused. So there we go. There's another way on your walls, drapes, and or whatever you get, an old blanket, anything like that. An old comforter. You just stick stuff there that's all poofy. There we go, poofy stuff, and that will eliminate that echo. And what else we got here? Oh, another one too from my drummer buddy. I don't know that kind of foam mattress, foam rubber stuff. He used to have some of that foam and like a blanket, and he would put that in his bass drum so it wouldn't. It would kind of deaden the bass drum a bit as it projects outward. So yeah, so if you got any type of, like, I don't know, foam rubber, whatever foam you want to call that, not spray foam, but you could use spray foam maybe uh, to take care of some air seals or something like that. Spray foam's great. Except whenever you're using spray foam, you always get it all over your hands, no matter how careful you are, and you just can't get it off. You gotta wait for it to go. So yeah, so there we go. That is my soundproofing and sound deadening, I don't know, tips. And I really didn't do much here at all, but kind of thinking about it, like I got my wood bench here. So wood, my just speaking and bouncing my sound off of this wood workbench, that would deaden the sound more than if I had a steel bench or something like that. I've worked in machine shops where you have a steel workbench. What else would be there? Yeah, like if it was kind of plastic, I guess, would probably bounce it off too. But the wood, and it's got a little bit, it doesn't vibrate as much as something like a metal or plastic. What else do I got lying around here? Oh, and I don't know if you can see kind of up here in the rafters, there's every 16 inches you got your joists, which are pretty heavy wood, 100-year-old joists. And so once the sound gets up there, it starts bouncing back and forth, and that would be yeah. So it gets up there and gets kind of trapped, and then it doesn't bounce back at me as much. And then, so I don't know. There's that, and it's wood, so it's absorbing it. You'll notice that too if you ever have houses that are newer houses that don't have like a full. What is that? A 2x8, 2x10? I don't know. Is that a 2x10? That's bugging me. I gotta measure that. I don't want to be telling you. The wrong. All right. How is that? That is 8. Okay, yeah. So it's 2x8 joist. Anyways, and yeah. So if you ever get those newer houses that have the they'll kind of have 2 layers of wood, and then they'll kind of have metal crisscrossed in between. You'll notice that when people are walking upstairs, it's noisier when they do that because there's less mass absorbing. Like the joists have less mass to them, so that sound will go between the upstairs and downstairs of the house a lot more. And then now, but now I like for up here, the only sound that comes through here is the creaky wood floors. That's why no one walks up there during the show. You definitely hear it too. Yeah, so here we go. Soundproofing. Lots and lots of mass. So the proofing is keeping your outside noise from coming in. Have lots of mass. Like a cinder block is great. Or if you have like a newer, say like a newer apartment building or condo or something like that has poured cement walls, they don't hear their neighbors. But the cheaper condos and apartments, they'll just be drywall and you hear them no problem, right? So there's your example of some mass air seals. Yeah. So the less little air cracks coming in will help out. And close your windows up if they're nice and airtight. And the distance between layers of mass. Okay, sound deadening, that will get rid of your echo. Carpet everywhere. Egg cartons are cool. And drapes, foam, anything kind of material and poofy floofy. It just kind of absorbs that sound and doesn't bounce back off the wall at you. And that's all over the place too. So like you can have it on the carpet, on the ground, walls, ceiling, everything. That's why they have those acoustic tiles, as they call them, up on the ceiling. Those will they absorb the sound getting to your drywall or plastered roof and bouncing back through. So the good old asbestos, man, it's awesome stuff. But anyways, I don't know. We had that in the music room in grade school. I think was acoustic tiles and stuff. It seemed to work okay. Okay, so that's about it for that. I don't know. Maybe, hopefully, that's helpful for somebody that wants to start up a YouTube channel. Oh, Dustin, I didn't notice you were in here. Hi. Yeah, and then I don't know if you're thinking about doing some kind of YouTube show or something like that. Maybe that'll improve your audio quality, and or even if you want to not bug your neighbors if you're blasting your guitar or blasting your music or something like that. And there we go. Oh, and yeah, that's about it. I will go through our comments here, and yeah, we'll see. Oh, yeah, that was another thing I kind of wanted to mention too. It's kind of a side note to your soundproofing and your sound deadening. Depending on what type of microphone you have, that's a whole other thing to get into. Me, I got the Blue Yeti, works great. I got my little lavalier one that I just bought the other day. I still got to fool around with that a bit more. So I can, when I go on vacation, I'll be able to bring that with me and it'll sound good. Yeah, when it comes to your microphone, I guess with the microphone, it's kind of like if you spend a ton of money on it, it'll probably be good. But with the microphone, I've kind of treated that for any of my YouTube-y kind of stuff. I've treated it just like any other tool in the toolbox. Don't get the absolute cheapest one. Get the best that you can afford. And I don't know, can I afford a super awesome mic? I guess so, maybe. I just don't want to spend that much. So something right in the middle, is probably, you're going to be okay. But I would say never, ever, ever with any type of microphone stuff. What did I do? I don't think I ever bought any really cheap stuff, but I haven't been let down. But I know with tools, if you buy the cheapest tool, you will always get let down 100% of the time. So never get the cheapest. And there we go. As far as microphones, that's all I can tell you for there. All right, so let's do, I'll kind of go through any comments here. And I don't know, hopefully somebody thought it was interesting. When I was talking about the airtight room, it's like, airtight, you die. And then Harold says, no one would hear the death. That's a good one. Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. Rock Guitar Brother has a music studio in his basement. He has anechoic green foam cone mattresses on the walls. Anechoic green foam. I have never heard of that. Anechoic. Okay, you just made me Google something, Wrench. Let's check this out. Anechoic. Anechoic chamber tile. Okay. Oh, anechoic. There we go. That makes sense. So it'd be like echo canceling. Yeah, there we go. That's I didn't think. I was like, anechoic. What's that? Oh, anechoic. Okay. And rather than that's kind of, I guess, anything "an" is kind of Latin for anti, against. Okay, you got me on that one. Okay. All right, what else we got here? All right, so Wrench is doing the Googling for me here, and anechoic foam isn't too expensive. Yep. Yeah, there's like I've heard a lot of YouTubers they'll buy this stuff. Oh, you just get it on Amazon and you stick it on the wall. Yep. I don't know how good it is. Probably okay. Like it just looks like cheap foam, you know. Uh, I would rather get like free carpet and tons of it, and then the price is zero. But that's just me. So, um, yeah, there we go. Another Wrench is making another good point. Some music sounds better in a ringing room, like a church organ. No deadening. Oh yeah, who doesn't like to hear a good pipe organ right in the church? That's super awesome. Lots of echoes there. Yeah. Okay. So that is about it for today. Today is Wednesday. I'm surprised I got a show together. I whipped this up in like 2 seconds before I went on. And okay, what else we got here? Oh, that's a good point there. Okay, before I go, might be hard to clean foam. Yeah, I guess it's like, and if it's stuck right to the wall, how would you do that? You vacuum it maybe, but then would a strong vacuum suck the foam, like rip it apart? Maybe. Yeah, tough one. Well, if you got a rug, you just take it down, beat the rug outside, give it a vacuum, throw it back up on the wall. I don't know. Wouldn't work or wouldn't hurt, I guess. But I just like the idea of free and cheap. It's just that's the best price. Uh, I learned that from a guy I used to work with. It was Dutch, and Jason. He always loved to get stuff free, and he would wait and wait, and it would just be like he'd see someone selling like a little mini bike. He's got a couple kids, and he's like, yeah, okay. And they're selling mini bike $500, and he on the side of the road he'd pull over and oh, I'll take your mini bike off your hands. And the guy says, oh, yeah, sure, $500. He says, no, but I mean, I'll take it for free. But if you want to get rid of it, I'll take it away for you. And the guy says, no, I'll get some money for it. And he says, well, here's my phone number if you ever want to get rid of it. And the guy had a truck. And so it's like a couple months later, yeah, get this thing out of here. You can have it for your kid. Free mini bike. Boom. He got a free boat that way. Didn't have a motor. Free trailer came with the boat. I mean, this guy got everything for free. So, and he always said free is the best price. So that's where I stole it from Jason. And okay, there we go. Fun stuff. Thanks for coming by, everybody. Today is Wednesday. So I'll be back on Friday because I do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern. And we'll just kind of shut her down. So thank you for watching. Bye.